You can't hate your art into improvement. That seems like very logical and a no-brainer, but it would really shock you just how many people, including myself, subconsciously believe that. Or even if we didn't believe it, it's something that we did, or we aligned with, or we put forth into the universe. Hating your art is a common and a very shared practice in the artist and creative community because of many things. Like, we're not at the skill level that we desire to be. We're constantly bombarded with other more advanced and skilled artists. And when we look at our own art, it just feels like we're not where we're supposed to be, or we're never going to get there. And our art is just always going to look like this, and it's always going to be disgusting. And the thing is, there are healthier ways to go about improvement rather than just absolutely despising what you create. Crazy. I know. Really insane. If you told me this maybe like 3 or 5 years ago, I would have said, yeah, sure. And I wouldn't have taken that seriously. But where I am now, it changes a lot. So here is what I did to go from hating my art to mildly liking it a little bit more than usual. Yeah, I'm going to show you a few pieces I have had since I started my digital art journey. It was about 8 years ago when I first got my digital graphic tablet and I started making art. I'm going to show you the art that I would have been very proud of myself for making. Because the thing is, I didn't always like my art, but at the same time, I didn't always hate it. And that's one thing I'm really grateful to my younger self for. I was really grateful to the fact that I could say, hey, I like this piece. I like what I made. Even though looking back at it now, it's really, really, it's not something I want anyone to see. But the fact that I could see improvement, you know? And the thing is, you shouldn't, the worth in your art should not be based off of improvement. Don't get me wrong, okay? Liking your art and liking what you've improved is really good if you want to keep progressing and if you want to, keep going. But the thing is, I would work on the basis of, okay, I create piece A. I don't like how I drew the hands in piece A. And so in piece B, I make sure to try and draw the hands better. I study hands before I touch piece B. And then when it's time for piece B to come, I draw the hands, they're better, and I like it. That's one way I started to like my art, was by noticing and commending myself on these small improvements. But even with art where it looked like I hadn't really done anything new or better from my last piece, I still wouldn't say that I hated it. And that's really what I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you how to not hate. I don't know how to make you like your own art. I don't know how to make you love your art, because I don't do that myself either. And you might look at my art and think that it's good and that I have no reason to not like it. But even still, I find myself looking at what I made and just being like, this is subpar, and then nitpicking every single part of the piece. And it's related to a lot of other things going on in my own life, but it's still not a good habit. It's not a healthy habit. It just shows that no matter your skill level, falling into the I hate my art mindset is super, super easy, which is why we don't need to pretend like we love our art. Okay, that's just not going to happen. You're not going to love every single thing that you make, but you owe it to yourself to not hate everything you make. The times when I hated every single art piece that I made, I would not draw. I've gone multiple months without drawing, just because I would get in this really low point where I try to draw something and I just despise it. And I think this is probably a topic for another video, but a way to get out of that art hatred is to draw something new. Because I kept drawing the same old stuff, the same face in the 3/4 way, and I wasn't improving on drawing it better. I was just drawing it the way I knew how to draw it. And when it wouldn't come out the way I wanted to look, the way I've always had it look, I would just hate whatever I create. And then, there comes the whole, oh, I'm not going to draw for a while now, which I know a lot of people can relate to. When they start to hate their art, they take a very long break. And breaks are good. Okay, don't get me wrong. Breaks are really, really good when you're painting stuff or when you just need to get away from creating. But I used to take really, really long breaks where I would wonder if I would ever come back to art. But the thing about me is art is the only thing that's ever kept me going. So I knew that even if I took like a 2-year break, I'm still going to come back to draw something. I'm going off topic. How I achieved neutrality or a more positive mindset towards my art. I used one method that I've learned from other more professional artists who have shared their advice with me, platforms like YouTube, Pinterest, Twitter, and it's just the improvement thing that I mentioned earlier. If you can note why you hate the piece, okay, you hate the way you did the line art, you hate the way you blocked in the shadows, you hate the colors that you picked, you can take those things, those individual things, and decide to work on them or study them for your next piece. At least that's what I would do. That's what I did. I'd have a piece where I just can't find out what I hate about it. And then I look and I'm like, okay, well, the line art is a bit thick. Or I will take an artist that I really enjoy their art and take one of their pieces and look at it and say, what makes this piece better than what I just drew? And I'm like, okay, my piece doesn't have depth. My piece doesn't have really good lighting and stuff like that. And so I would I'm in my head, I'm noting these things that I need to look at, these parts that I need to, work on for the future. Another great thing to do is to do studies. They really are really super helpful. I was allergic to doing anything other than drawing my anime girls, and that really kept me stagnant for years. I really regret it, but at the same time, I'm glad that I started now rather than later down the line. Doing studies of photos that either you took or are just available on the internet that are free for you to use, and try and replicate them or replicate some part of them. You see a picture with really good clouds and you want to learn how to paint clouds, you try and replicate those clouds in that picture. But yes, that is one way to get over the hatred, is to find cons of a piece that you didn't like, actually list out what you didn't like, and then work on that for the next time. You won't be in love with your next piece, but at least you can say, okay, I drew the eye a little bit better this time, which is good. I like the fact that I did that. And slowly but surely, you will get the rest of the stuff that you don't like, that you didn't like in your old piece, and you will have done them better over time, which is really important. It takes time. This is not going to happen overnight. Okay, I've been drawing digitally for 8 years and transitioning for the rest of my life. And I can tell you that I only started really achieving neutrality maybe 4 years ago. 4 years ago. And yeah, it didn't get easier with my skill level improving. In fact, it's gotten worse, which is why I'm making this video not just for you, but for me as well. I need to take my own advice. Number 2, a good way to get over your art that people really don't talk about, but it's underrated and very necessary, is support. Whether it's from a forum you're a part of online or friends and family, if you can show your art to somebody and have them say one nice thing about it, or even just a little cute thumbs up reaction, it goes a very, very long way. And I think most artists that have that, they don't really value it. Well, maybe some do, but it can change a lot, okay? There's merit in having a support system, and it's a privilege that not everyone has access to, which is why I always go out of my way to make sure in any art Discord that I'm part of or any server where people are sharing their art, I leave a little like on it. It's not a pity like. I actually do like the fact that they created the art and they were brave enough to post it online, and I acknowledge that with my little Discord reaction. Yeah, a support system can go a very, very long way. Trust me, I know. At least my real life friends, I have most of them are artists as well, so them liking my work is a great compliment to me. But even my non-artist friends, when they like my work too, I'm very flattered and I'm very glad, and it makes me want to draw more. Okay, so hearing a nice thing from people that you care about can really, really change your perspective on your own art. Maybe it's not that disgusting, but then again, the sharing your art with people that you care about can also lead to them maybe ignoring it sometimes. And the thing is, at the end of the day, we must do everything in moderation. You don't want to have to rely on this person saying something nice about your art for you to ever like your art. No. That is just a help. It's a boost. The main meat of the matter comes from you. You have to be the one to like your art first. You have to have some sort of pride in it to show it to them. Hey, I made this thing and I want to show you. Do you have anything nice to say? Something like that. And I think my third and final point would be to stop comparing. Seriously, stop comparing your art to other people, because you don't know how long they've been doing this and how much time they have to devote to this to get to where they are. Like, honestly, it is such a terrible thing for me, because my feed on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, it's just full of amazing artists just sharing their stuff. And it's like, I'm like wowed, like, holy cow, your art is amazing, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. But at the same time, I'm like, my art looks complete. It looks like a dumpster fire next to you guys. I don't belong here. I don't feel like this is for me. Let me leave your space to you, since you're really good, I'm not. And I'm ashamed of myself, which is cringe. If every single artist thought like that, we would have way less artists in the world than we do now. And I know a lot of them might have thought like that, but the thing is, we grow out of things. We change as human beings. I'm still in the process of changing. Don't get me wrong, I still be comparing my art to other bigger artists and better artists. But my journey is my journey alone. I'm learning new stuff every day. I'm studying. The only comparison that I'm doing of my art is to my previous art. Okay? I only ever compare myself to myself. Have I improved from my last piece? Or is this redraw better than the old art? That's the only kind of comparison that should be allowed and should be encouraged. You always want to be a better version of yourself. But again, as I said before, moderation is key. You don't need to make every piece be better than the last one, because you'll burn yourself out and you will hate your art more if you don't reach those thresholds that you held for yourself. Like, yes, you should have standards, you should have goals, but don't overdo it. It's really, really easy to overdo it. Okay. And also, don't give yourself too much to do at once. Don't tell yourself, hey, I need to learn rendering, I need to learn hands, I need to learn anatomy, I need to learn coloring, I need to learn gradient maps. Oh my gosh, you're going to be so overwhelmed. And you're going to get so tired of art. Okay, I really tried to do all that stuff. And it would just cause this issue where I have my tablet out, and instead of me to draw, I am just watching videos on how to render, and then the next video is how to draw hands, and now I don't know what to draw, because you can't do everything at once. I mean, you could always just render hands, but okay, look, I'm not really good at keeping my thoughts together. Anyways, I'm gonna put them out in just short form now. First way, pros and cons of your old art. Make small improvements. Second way is to have a support system saying nice things about your art. Third way is to stop comparing yourself to other people. The only person you need to compare yourself to is you from the past. Make sure that you're a better version of yourself. I hope this was at least helpful to one person out there. And if that person is only me, then I'll take it. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!